Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today I'm going to teach you how to create color halftone effects in Adobe Illustrator. So creating a color halftone is actually really easy, and to begin with, what you're going to want to do is you want to select your rectangle tool. Just for example, say you can use any shape really, but let's select the rectangle tool. Let's draw a rectangle out. Let's back for a second. And what you're going to need to do before you do anything else is you're going to need to set a gradient. So let's just make the gradient run from top to bottom. Sorry. Yeah. Then select your gradient, your rectangle gradient, and then go to Effect, then go to Pixelate, and then go to Color Halftone. What you're going to get is you're going to get this box, and really these settings are all going to depend on the size of your illustration or whatever you're applying the halftone to. So let's say this is kind of a small illustration. Let's say the max radius is 20 pixels and the channel, each channel, let's set it to 25. Let's keep it consistent all the way through 25, 25, 25. Change that to 10 and let's select. And then what it's going to do is it's going to apply a halftone. Now, you can see this is probably actually too small of a halftone for the rectangle. So let's go back, Control Z, undo. Let's go color halftone again. Let's set the radius to 50 and let's set the screen angles. Do you know what that might do as well? 25, 25, 25. And then you've got a much larger color halftone here, much more suitable for the size of the rectangle. Now, the next step is you're going to want to image trace this. So now you have your color halftone effect. You're going to want to go to Object and then Rasterize. You're going to rasterize this and click Transparent so that it doesn't include the white background. And then after you've rasterized it, you're going to want to image trace it. So if you go to Object again, scroll down to Image Trace and then Make. Once it's finished image tracing, it might not look quite as clean as this. This has actually turned out quite nicely, and I think that's probably due to the size. Although you can see some of the top circles here are a little bit uneven. Now, you can try and even it up a little bit by coming down to your image trace panel. Down here, you want to open up your image trace panel. And you want to play with these settings. I generally reduce corners. Now keep playing with these settings until you come up with something that you're happy with. Okay, so I'm happier with this now. The really small ones at this point, once you've applied them to your illustration, you might end up clipping them out anyway. So once you're happy with the final result, so I'm going to expand that. Then what I'm left with is vector halftone. Now I'm going to ungroup these as a whole so I can select this little outline here. Going to delete that. We don't want that. Then we're going to go back in and we're going to group them all together again, this color halftone. And let's say I want to clip it into a circular shape. Select the ellipse tool, then clipping mask that in, and then we've got a little circular halftone effect. So we have our circular halftone right here. What you'll notice is there is still some white blocks inside. So if you try and change the color of this as a whole, it will fill those in. We don't want that to happen. So let's move this over here so we can just see exactly where these white blocks are. Let's go in to the clipping mask by double clipping. Let's select and isolate our color halftone, and let's select same fill color to grab all of the white sections, and let's just delete them. Now you're left with clear space in between the color halftone, and now you're free to change the color to anything you wish. Red, gray. Let's leave it gray for now. So now we have our color halftone. Let's have a look at a couple of different applications. So for a start, you might want to add it to some graphics you've been working on. So just open up this little Hades badge that I created a while back, and let's say I want to add the color halftone to the background behind the head, where the orange circle is. So I'm going to select my color halftone. I'm going to release the clipping mask and delete that clipping mask. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up to the correct layer. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to go in to this illustration. I'm going to isolate it. Then I'm going to paste the color halftone. I'm going to size it up. Then I'm going to copy this circle, the background circle, paste it over the top. Control F if you want to, or Command F if you're using Mac, if you want to paste in place. And then we're going to make a clipping mask. We're going to take this now and we're going to start sending it back behind the graphics, behind the head, so that it sits nicely in place. And you can see now that looks pretty cool, but maybe, you know, I'll change the color here so that it's not quite as prominent. Let's select that orange and let's darken it just a little bit. There we go. So now let's look at another example of using the color halftone in an application. We've got some text written out here, just to test. We've got our color halftone here. Let's get rid of the old clipping mask. Now this is just some test text. Let's outline it for a start. What you're going to do is you want to go to Object, Compound Path, and then Make. And then make sure you fill it again. And then just very much like the circle graphic, first we're going to size this up. It's a little bit too much. Let's just copy and paste this across. So let's copy and paste this text in place so it sits above the color halftone. Now, because it's a compound shape now, when you clipping mask this, it won't just clip to one letter, it will clip to the whole shape of all the letters together. And you can see now that the color halftone sits within the test text. You can do this to any type as long as you've outlined the type and you've set it as a compound shape. Now, another way you can add a halftone effect to a graphic is by using Illustrator's basic graphic dots, which is a set of swatches that comes with the program. Now, to find those, you want to go into your swatch library, and then you want to make your way down to patterns, and then basic graphics, and then you'll find it here. You've got basic graphics dots. Once you selected that, let's say, for example, create a square here. Select the swatch. You can see it's just a load of evenly spaced dots. You can change it to make them larger or even smaller. There's a lot of different effects you can use here, but you don't have as much control over it as you do if you were creating the color halftone yourself. This is a quick fix, and this is good if you are not too worried about the dots increasing in size or decreasing in size in a uniform fashion. Well, that is the end of the tutorial, guys, and as always, I do hope you found it helpful. If you did, it would mean a lot if you dropped a like and sub to the channel. Until next time, guys, take care.